Compassion, empathy, kindness, and patience.
We talk about being the water on the stone. We are here to change society, slowly but surely working towards equality, mutual respect, and breaking the cycle of violence in our community.
The nonprofit organization Oasis, located in Boone, North Carolina, serves survivors of domestic and sexual violence in the local community.
In April of 1978, a group of community members held their first meeting, and I actually have the minutes from that first meeting on a yellow legal pad. And it was about 25 different community members who were recognizing a need for a crisis intervention response team in our community.
Today, that response team has grown into what Oasis is now. Over the years, Oasis has expanded on the services they now offer to survivors of sexual and domestic violence.
So we have emergency shelter for people fleeing intimate partner violence.
If somebody needs shelter, usually what that means is that they are fleeing a domestic violence situation, and that can be men or women.
Sometimes they can't stay home for fear of their safety.
Our emergency shelter is used as a last resort facility when someone otherwise doesn't have anywhere safe to go.
So we provide that shelter, and we provide it for Spanish speakers too. And usually at the shelter, people do case management. So that's helping them towards getting back on their feet. We have our 24-hour crisis line. We do legal and medical advocacy, which means when people are going through that system, we accompany them. We do domestic violence support group every Monday, and so right now we don't have anyone who attends who speaks Spanish, but if needed, I could always interpret for that.
Along with many of their services, Oasis also leads outreach programs and events throughout the communities of Watauga and Avery County.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so we have these teal ribbons that we're wearing, and we have some events going on throughout the month, and April is a big month for us to work towards that mission of spreading our name and spreading our goals. This Friday, actually, when First Friday is happening, we will have an event at Third Place going on where we have survivor art that's going to be displayed.
So this is the first Friday of April, and April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so that means that for the whole month we're going to be raising awareness about sexual assault and the fact that it happens and how it happens and why it happens and who it happens to. And so this is just the first event of many installments for this entire month for us. And so for this specifically, what we have are some art pieces from survivors of sexual assault or intimate partner violence. So we put out a call on Facebook saying, we're looking for pieces for this exhibit. If you're a survivor and you want to share your experience with us, please bring it by. And so this is what we got from that. So we're really, really excited to share those stories with people of Boone and people of App State who come by. And this is just an awesome way to raise awareness for us. So we've got some swag materials or promotional materials from us, and then we've got some art back here, and then over here we have some opportunities for people to make what we call artist trading cards. I'm just really enjoying all of the different people that we've been seeing. It seems to be no set demographic of people who have come in, and there are people who come in and they're like, oh no, I have no idea what Oasis is, and that's a really exciting opportunity for us to say, well, this is what we do, and this is why we're having this event. So I'm just loving that good mixture of people who are coming in and joining us, people who know about us and are bringing their friends. So that's really exciting to see, and it just feels like a really hopeful time.
Along with the many positive aspects of having a job at Oasis, the work that comes with it can be extremely draining and exhausting, which is why the employees at Oasis stress the importance of self-care.
Also, I think what Oasis does well, and that I really enjoy, is the culture of care here.
Our work is really hard, and you have to have a lot of patience. You have to be able to also put your work aside when you go home, which is really hard. I think a lot of us struggle with that.
It's hard work, and you get burned out sometimes, and we check in with each other every morning, and we process things immediately after they happen. We always staff, and anyone is always willing to just jump in with a client with you and help you out. And I think that culture of not just care, but self-care is really important, and I think really something that I have really benefited from and enjoyed here at Oasis.
If you can do that, then you're a really good advocate.
Being a male, how do you think your role in this line of work differs from like the role of women in this field?
Yeah, and that's something that I have actually talked about a lot here with my supervisor, just processing that. I mean, I'm super aware every time I come into Oasis of my privilege as a male, and so I try and work through that by letting others speak more than me in staffing, because I don't want to take up physical space, but also mental space in a way. Also, like being aware that some clients have traumatic experiences with men in the past, and so respecting those boundaries if that's something that they need. Like if I need to just like hang out in the back for a bit while they're here, I'm happy to do that. If it involves me not going to the shelter to check in, that's what I'll do. But just, it's something that I'm aware of all the time, which is interesting, but also a challenge because a lot of men aren't having to consciously and critically think about their maleness.
For many of the employees at Oasis, coming into work every day means much more than just that.
This was just something that I was passionate about, and I wanted to be actively involved in primary prevention work instead of just being on the sidelines and watching this happen to people that I love and care about.
My mother is a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm a survivor of sexual violence. So my freshman year of college, I was assaulted by someone who was my mentor, and he was a really big part of the community. He was someone that I trusted a lot. We shared like marginalized identities. We like both came from like a marginalized like racial background, and so I really thought this was somebody I could trust. And then he violated my trust in the worst way possible. I saw a mental health provider. I got involved in my community. I helped plan one of the first Take Back the Nights at ASU's campus, and I also spoke at that, and that really like helped me feel empowered and feel in control of my story. I don't talk much about what happened and who it was because that's hard. It's raw. It's something really personal. Although I did it like at Take Back the Night, I loved it. It was a great, awesome experience. But it's something really personal, and I try to talk about it in a way that brings hope and not in a way that like brings back like these bad memories for me or for other people. I thought like, what is a better way of I've healed from my trauma. I can't imagine like a better way to continue this process than helping others heal from their trauma. And it's an amazing opportunity to make a career out of my activism, which is what I've always wanted to do. So I decided to apply and work here.
My favorite part, that would be
seeing clients grow and making choices that are empowering for them.
I think it's the people, all the people from the clients. I enjoy working with the clients, their kids. I really love my coworkers, to see people who are dedicated to this work, and then just the community in general. When sometimes I tell folks where I work, someone will say, "Oh, you helped my friend."
I've come to find that the most rewarding parts of my job come from being at the shelter, working directly with our families there, and just being that support when people need it. And you really develop a different kind of relationship with people when you're providing case management in your pajamas sometimes, or you're living beside these people. So I appreciate that a lot.
I just feel good coming into work. I feel like I'm completing my like personal mission, my personal life's mission. So it's been really good for like me personally. And I know that's like a little selfish, but that's okay, I think, because it's so hard to make a difference in something so big. So when you actually like can see it, it's great. It's empowering for me as a Latinx woman, and it's empowering for me as a survivor of sexual violence. I think, and I like to hope, that the future will be safer
Oasis is working really hard to, again, reduce bias in some of our communities that are underrepresented.
We have worked so hard in making Oasis accessible for Spanish speakers ever since I got in this position.
Our work is relevant to everyone in every field, and so trying to get people to be aware that we are an important resource for them no matter what they're doing.
We are just working to keep putting our name out there and to make sure that people know that those resources are available.
The more we can get the word out about the services that are available, what Oasis needs from our community for support, how we're all in this together, holding hands, making our society a better place, that's awesome.